Welcome to the Up Your Average podcast, where Keith and Doug give no-nonsense advice to level up your life. So buckle up and listen closely to Up Your Average.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Up Your Average podcast. Do you ever have a mistake in life? If you tuned into the live recording or the live show this morning on Friday, it was aired Friday, you would have just seen all kinds of chaos happening. I have a brand new computer and I was struggling to get Zoom downloaded in time for the show. Then Keith is traveling, and so he was on the road, and so audio was very spotty. And so I just decided to go ahead and re-record this and do it again. So if you've had a failure in life, high five to you. Just erase it, start over, do whatever you need to do, but definitely take some action and get on it. So I'm excited to be here with you. Keith is traveling today, and so that's what's going on with just me being here. I'm going to go ahead and share the disclaimer with you all real quick. Okay, so basically, this content is provided for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any of y'all. Any performance that I reference, it's going to be historical stuff and no guarantee of future results. Any economic forecast set may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee of any single thing I say or you see if you're watching online. I might talk about the S&P 500, the 600, the NASDAQ indices, but I doubt it on this one. Maybe a little bit, not too much. All of these thoughts and opinions are those of Gimbal Financial, and we are a registered investment advisor. So welcome. I'm really glad you're here. So my son came back in town from college today, and he is heading over to the polls. I don't know how long he's going to have to stand there. Maybe you've already voted. Did you early vote? Was it an hour, 2 hours? I'm goofy. I like to vote on actual election day. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing some familiar faces that I see whenever I go and hit the polls. But I wanted to address the topic of the election with you all. And so it's coming up. And I think this podcast will release on Monday. And so if you're listening to this on Monday, I hope it encourages you as you go through the polls or as you're waiting for the election results. But the biggest news in Indianapolis, isn't the election. It's Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is probably already in town. I flew the red eye back from Alberta, Canada the other day. And on my plane were a bunch of Swifties. And I loved that they were coming to Indianapolis. And, we've got 4 boys, so we don't necessarily have Taylor Swift fans in our house. But I love to see these Swifties coming into town because they were excited. They're spending money in Indianapolis. Go Taylor Swift. I know she tells us how she votes, but I don't really even care about that. I'm just excited about the economic prosperity that comes along with a successful music career. So cheers to you, Taylor Swift, and all you Swifties out there. A while back ago, and some of you have heard me reference this, I'll go and show it on the screen here. This is the Stock Traders Almanac 2024. And I love this book. This is where I record the stock market. I record the trends. I record the stock indices that are moving, the sectors of the economy or the sectors of the market that are getting more growth exposure than others. I record stock data in here. But there's quotes on each day of the month. And so I went ahead and marked off the quote for Tuesday the 5th. And this is pretty good. This says, this is by Yale Hirsch, who is a creator of the Stock Traders Almanac. And he says, a president is elected and tries to get rid of the dirty stuff in the economy as quickly as possible so that by the time the next election comes around, he looks like a hero. And isn't that true? I mean, don't these cycles repeat themselves? That isn't that one always true? Where the president, he's trying to make the economy look great. They're doing everything they can in order to make positive stuff happen, whether that be the stock market itself or could be prices of commodities, the gasoline that goes in your car, the electricity that you're burning through your house, all that kind of stuff. The president and their team are going to do everything they can in the third and fourth year of a presidential election cycle to make things look really good. And I think that's been the case. We've been seeing that here with a really good stock market to work with since the end of October last year. It's been very encouraging. For those of you who are savers, you've seen interest rates at a place where your savings accounts are rewarded, or your CDs are rewarded. And so that's been greatly encouraging. And that tends to happen during that third and fourth year of a presidential election cycle. And hey, that will happen every time into the future as well. And so that saying is just a really good one. And I think the challenge is, so that would be of the third and fourth year of a presidential election cycle. But the challenge in that first and second year, those can be great challenges. And normally during those first 2 years, there's inflationary pressures, there's inflationary concerns that are happening. And voters are seeing that in their own expenses. You've been seeing it this year too, but people see that in those first 2 years especially. And that's when policymakers and the president, they're bringing ideas. If you have a red wave and you've got a Republican president and a Republican Congress, they're probably putting their proposals out, and the market's reacting pretty quickly to it. If you have a mixed wave, maybe you have a Democrat president, Republican Congress, then you're going to be looking for ideas to kind of bash each other, and not a whole lot of progress gets done. And so it's during those times where you're going to see the Fed use tools to fight inflation. The market is going to heavily rely on stock market earnings to give direction on which way the market might go. And so those first 1 to 2 years can be really tricky. And I anticipate that'll be the same thing for whoever gets elected this Tuesday or whenever we find out the results. But it's just a crazy time. And here, I'll show you this. For those of you who aren't viewing online on our YouTube channel, and feel free to go there. Go to the Gimbal Financial YouTube channel to check this stuff out, or episodes in the past. We've been recording these episodes since COVID, but we switched over to the Up Your Average podcast format here recently. But Gimbal Financial Online, check it out. But yeah, my team, the New York Yankees, man, they had just an awesome year in baseball. And my family and I, we watched every postseason game. It's just been a lot of fun. It's always fun when your team is in it. Now, the Dodgers cleaned the Yankees' clock. I mean, and congratulations, Dodgers fans. I'm not hating on the Dodgers. I took the family out to LA to watch a Dodgers game. The Dodgers just played better. They forced errors on the Yankees. I mean, these things happen. But as I was watching the Yankees play, and I was getting feedback from some of my relatives and friends who hate the Yankees. How could that be? It just reminded me of this political environment that we're in. And with the political environment, we're in some ways, we're cheering on our teams, aren't we? And, we might be cheering on this person, or we might wonder, why did they draft that person, or whatever it is. It's easy to get caught up in just cheering for your team and not really knowing what's going on inside the dynamics of a policy or a certain outlook, and how that outlook might affect your neighbors or your business partners. And so I want to encourage you, obviously, to dive in and know those things, but also just to realize that there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. And if your team wins, great. If your team loses, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, I firmly believe that it's the innovators. It's the innovators who are starting new things, creating new ways of doing things, or perfecting systems that were great 10 or 15 years ago, but need updates today. And so it's those new innovations that will really take care of us. I don't know if you've noticed, but like, look at shoe trends. A few of my boys love tennis shoes. And if you just look at shoe trends, there's a few brands that are out there today and on everybody's feet who weren't out there 10 years ago. And those innovators are making things happen, and they'll work with whoever's president. They'll work with whoever's in Congress. I've had these beliefs that if a certain party is elected, then there are going to be sleeves of the economy that are going to do better than others. If a Republican's elected, you think, hey, oil's going to go through the roof. If a Democrat is elected, then alternative energies might be better. But it's not always the case. And so I think it's really important just to sit back and allow the market to tell you what the fashion trends are. And then you can get in line with what is. And so that's my encouragement to you, is that the innovators, the folks out there who are wanting to make things better are going to get in the game, and they're going to get in the game regardless of whether their team is elected or not. I think the other area where I'm really encouraged is with younger people. And so, for the persons who are in their late teens to early 20s right now, for those folks, it's all upside from here. They're dreaming of having a new car. They're dreaming of buying a house someday, or living where they want to live. They might fly across the country and set up shop there. They're looking to improve their lives, and so there's just tons of opportunity for the younger person today, and they're just not going to get held back by some of the distractions of whether their party is in power or not. And so, with all of this, guys, I just want to encourage you to take a deep breath and just kind of assess your own personal situation. My grandfather told me a long time ago, no president ever made or broke him. And he was a hairstylist for a long time. I want to say like 60 years. He had his own little business. And they had owned he and my grandma had owned 5 salons through different types of economies, different presidents. And so you're going to make it. And it's in large part going to be your attitude. So here's your homework assignment. Here's where the rubber hits the road. Is if you haven't voted, and you're going to be like me and you're going to be voting on Tuesday, I want to encourage you just to stop and check out your surroundings. Look around. Maybe you know people at the polls. Maybe you don't. But check out who's around and ask yourself, hey, what does she do for a living? Or I wonder what their family's like, where they're going to be spending their time for Thanksgiving. They're probably going to be cheering on the same football team that you are. They're probably going to be having turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes. And we've got a ton in common. And that's the kind of stuff that's going to just keep America moving forward. It's going to keep you moving forward, and your family too. So anyway, happy election cycle season, and happy election day to all of you. I hope you get out there and vote. And I hope you have a good time doing it. Next week, Keith is going to be up with his good friend who's a fighter pilot, and we're going to be celebrating Veterans Day. So I won't be here for next week's show, but I'm looking forward to seeing you when I do. All right? Bye-bye for now.